Welcome to Malta, an island where every corner tells a story, where ancient temples meet turquoise waters, and where history, culture, and nature create moments you'll never forget. From hidden coves to bustling cities, from prehistoric wonders to cinematic sunsets, join us as we explore the most amazing places to visit in Malta, all in stunning 4K. Get ready to experience Malta like never before. Imagine a tiny island in the middle of the Mediterranean that feels like a living museum, a seaside paradise, and a cinematic dream all at once. Malta is not just a destination, it is a story carved in stone, shaped by waves, and written by centuries of explorers, knights, and empires. From ancient temples older than the pyramids, to turquoise lagoons that look unreal, Malta is a place where every corner feels like a scene from a movie. And in this journey, you are about to discover why this small island nation is one of Europe's most breathtaking hidden gems. The moment you arrive in Malta, the first thing that strikes you is the color. The sky feels brighter, the sea glows in shades of blue you didn't think existed, and the limestone buildings reflect sunlight with a warm, golden tone. Malta's unique architecture comes from its natural stone, which gives the entire island a timeless and cinematic look. As the sun rises, the cities glow softly, and as it sets, everything turns into a golden dream. Malta's story begins thousands of years ago. Long before Rome, long before medieval castles, ancient civilizations built temples here that still stand today. These megalithic temples are some of the oldest freestanding structures in the world, older than Stonehenge and the pyramids of Egypt. Walking among these stones feels surreal, as if you are stepping into a time when humanity was just beginning to shape history. You can almost imagine ancient rituals, mysterious ceremonies, and civilizations whose stories are still waiting to be fully understood. The island has been shaped by countless rulers and cultures. Phoenicians, Romans, Arabs, Normans, and the Knights of St. John all left their mark. This mix of influences makes Malta feel like a blend of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. You can see it in the architecture, taste it in the food, and hear it in the language, which blends Arabic roots with Italian and English influences. Malta feels familiar, yet completely unique. As you move through the streets, you'll notice narrow alleys, colorful balconies, and historic churches rising above the skyline. Every city and village has its own personality. The capital city, Valletta, is like a grand fortress filled with art, history, and culture. Built by the Knights of St. John, it is packed with Baroque architecture, grand palaces, and panoramic views of the sea. Walking through Valletta feels like walking through a living history book, where every corner tells a story of battles, faith, and power. But Malta is not just about history. It is also about nature, adventure, and pure beauty. The coastline is dramatic, with towering cliffs, hidden caves, and crystal clear waters. The Mediterranean here is calm, warm, and incredibly clear, making it perfect for swimming, snorkeling, and diving. Underwater, you'll find shipwrecks, coral reefs, and marine life that make Malta one of the top diving destinations in the world. One of the most magical experiences in Malta is watching the sunset. As the sun dips into the Mediterranean, the sky explodes with shades of orange, pink, and purple. The sea reflects these colors, creating a mirror of fire and light. Locals gather at coastal viewpoints, couples walk along the shore, and travelers pause to capture the moment. It is peaceful, cinematic, and unforgettable. Malta is also a land of legends and myths. From stories of ancient giants who built the temples to tales of knights defending the island from invaders, the past feels alive here. Even modern filmmakers have been drawn to Malta's dramatic landscapes. Many movies and TV shows have been filmed on the island, turning its cities and coastlines into famous cinematic worlds. As you explore Malta, you'll realize that it is not just a place to visit, it is a place to feel. The warm breeze, the sound of church bells, the smell of the sea, and the sight of boats floating in bright harbors create an atmosphere that stays with you long after you leave. Malta may be small on the map, but it is massive in history, beauty, and soul. And this is just the beginning of our journey. In the next chapters, we will dive deeper into Malta's most stunning cities, hidden islands, legendary landmarks, and natural wonders that make this Mediterranean gem one of the most amazing places to visit in the world. Step into Valletta, a city that feels less like a capital and more like a perfectly preserved cinematic set. Rising from the Mediterranean on a rocky peninsula, Valletta is Malta's heart, its soul, and its greatest masterpiece. From above, the city looks like a stone fortress floating between two deep blue harbors, and from the streets, it feels like a journey through centuries of power, faith, and ambition. Valletta was built in the 16th century by the Knights of Street, John, a powerful order of warrior monks who transformed Malta into one of the strongest fortresses in Europe. Every wall, every bastion, and every gate was designed for defense. Yet, within those walls, they created a city of incredible beauty. As you walk through the main gate, the first thing you notice is how straight and organized the streets are. Unlike medieval towns with twisting alleys, Valletta was designed with a grid layout, making it one of the earliest planned cities in Europe. The limestone buildings glow under the Mediterranean sun, giving the entire city a warm, golden look. Colorful wooden balconies hang over narrow streets, and ornate doorways lead into centuries-old homes. As you walk, you'll hear church bells echoing through the air, and catch glimpses of the sea at the end of almost every street. Valletta feels alive, historic, and cinematic at the same time. At the top of the city stands St. John's Co-Cathedral, one of the most stunning churches in the world. From the outside, it looks simple and fortress-like, but step inside, and you are surrounded by gold, marble, and masterpieces of art. The floor is made of marble tombstones of knights, each decorated with symbols of power, death, and glory. Inside, you'll find Caravaggio's famous painting, The Beheading of St. John the Baptist, a dramatic and powerful work that captures the intense spirit of the city. Valletta is also home to grand palaces and historic buildings that once housed powerful leaders. The Grand Master's Palace, with its armory and ornate halls, tells the story of the knights' rule over Malta. Walking through its corridors feels like stepping into a time of knights, battles, and royal ceremonies. One of the most breathtaking experiences in Valletta is visiting the Upper Baracca Gardens. From here, you get a panoramic view of the Grand Harbour, one of the most beautiful natural harbors in the world. Ships, yachts, and traditional Maltese boats move slowly across the water, while the three cities rise on the opposite shore. The view feels calm and majestic, especially during sunrise or sunset, when the sky and sea blend into a painting of light and color. Valletta is not only about history, it is also a vibrant cultural hub. Cafes spill onto the streets, artists paint in quiet corners, and musicians perform in open squares. At night, the city transforms. Lights illuminate the old walls, restaurants fill with laughter, and the harbor reflects the glowing city like a mirror. Valletta becomes romantic, lively, and full of energy. The city has also played a role in modern cinema. Its historic streets and fortresses have appeared in major films and TV series, standing in for ancient cities, medieval kingdoms, and even futuristic worlds. Walking through Valletta, you may recognize scenes from your favorite movies, making the experience feel surreal. Despite its small size, Valletta is packed with stories. Every stone has witnessed sieges, celebrations, tragedies, and triumphs. It has survived wars, earthquakes, and time itself. Yet it still stands proud, elegant, and full of life. As you leave Valletta and look back at its skyline rising above the sea, you realize that this city is more than a destination. It is a symbol of Malta's resilience, beauty, and history. And this is just one chapter of Malta's incredible story. In the next chapter, we will journey beyond the capital to discover ancient cities, silent streets, and places where time seems to stand still. Imagine a city where time feels frozen, where footsteps echo through empty streets, and where every stone seems to whisper secrets from another era. Welcome to Mdina, Malta's ancient silent city, a place that feels more like a living museum than a modern town. Perched on a hill in the center of the island, Mdina watches over Malta like a timeless guardian, untouched by the rush of the modern world. As you approach Mdina, the massive medieval walls rise before you, glowing softly under the sun. The main gate looks like something straight out of a fantasy film, and as you pass through it, the noise of the outside world fades away. Cars are restricted here, so the streets are quiet, broken only by the sound of your footsteps and the distant bells of churches. It feels like stepping into another century. Mdina was once the capital of Malta, long before Valletta existed. Its history stretches back more than 4,000 years, shaped by Phoenicians, Romans, Arabs, Normans, and the Knights of Street, John. Each civilization left its mark, creating a unique blend of architecture and culture. Narrow alleys twist between elegant palaces, stone houses, and hidden courtyards, all built from Malta's iconic honey-colored limestone. Walking through Mdina is like wandering through a film set. In fact, the city has been used as a filming location for major movies and TV shows, including scenes for epic fantasy series. Every corner feels cinematic. Sunlight spills through narrow streets, casting dramatic shadows on ancient walls, while wooden doors and iron lanterns add to the medieval atmosphere. At the heart of the city stands St. Paul's Cathedral, a stunning Baroque masterpiece. Built on the site where, according to tradition, the Roman governor Publius met St. Paul after his shipwreck, the cathedral dominates the skyline of Mdina. Inside, you'll find ornate decorations, marble floors, and beautiful frescoes that tell stories of faith and history. The silence inside is powerful, making you feel connected to centuries of worship and devotion. One of the most magical experiences in Mdina is walking along the city walls. From here, you can see almost the entire island of Malta stretching out before you. Rolling countryside, distant villages, and the sparkling Mediterranean Sea create a breathtaking panorama. At sunset, the sky turns shades of gold, orange, and purple, and the view becomes unforgettable. It's one of those moments that makes you feel small, yet deeply alive. Just outside Mdina lies Rabat, a town full of hidden treasures and underground wonders. Beneath its streets are ancient catacombs, where early Christians buried their dead and practiced their faith in secret. The St. Paul's Catacombs and St. Agatha's Catacombs are labyrinths of tunnels and chambers carved into the rock. Walking through them is both eerie and fascinating, offering a rare glimpse into Malta's early Christian history. Rabat is also home to traditional bakeries, small museums, and quiet squares where locals gather. Here, you can taste Maltese pastries, fresh bread, and local sweets, experiencing the island's culture in a simple and authentic way. The contrast between the silent elegance of Mdina and the lively charm of Rabat makes this area one of the most interesting parts of Malta. Mdina is especially magical at night. As the sun sets, lanterns light up the streets, and the city becomes even quieter. The absence of traffic and crowds creates an atmosphere that feels almost unreal. Walking through Mdina after dark feels like wandering through a medieval dream, where every shadow and doorway tells a story. This ancient city is not just a tourist attraction, it is a symbol of Malta's deep history, resilience, and identity. It has survived invasions, earthquakes, and centuries of change, yet it still stands, proud and beautiful. Mdina reminds us that some places are not just destinations, but portals to the past. As you leave the silent city and look back at its glowing walls, you realize why Mdina is one of the most enchanting places in Malta. But Malta's wonders don't stop here. In the next chapter, we will cross the sea to a neighboring island, where dramatic cliffs, turquoise waters, and hidden beaches create a paradise unlike anywhere else in the Mediterranean. Before you think you've seen all that Malta has to offer, imagine a smaller island where nature feels untouched, where cliffs rise straight from the sea, and where villages move at a slower, more peaceful rhythm. This is Gozo, Malta's sister island, a place many travelers describe as the soul of the archipelago. It is quieter, greener, and filled with landscapes that feel like a dream brought to life. A short ferry ride from the main island takes you across the sparkling Mediterranean, and as Gozo comes into view, you'll notice how different it feels. Rolling hills replace busy streets, stone farmhouses dot the countryside, and the air feels fresher and calmer. Gozo is where Malta slows down, where traditions remain strong, and where nature takes center stage. One of the first sights that captures your attention is the dramatic coastline. Towering limestone cliffs plunge into deep blue water, forming hidden coves and secret beaches. The sound of waves crashing against the rocks creates a powerful, cinematic atmosphere. Places like Mnajdra Bay and Valletta are famous for their natural rock formations and arches, shaped by thousands of years of wind and sea. Even though the famous Ħaġar window collapsed in 2017, the area remains one of the most breathtaking coastal landscapes in Europe. Gozo is also home to Mnajdra Bay, one of the most beautiful beaches in Malta. Its unique reddish golden sand contrasts with the turquoise water, creating a striking and unforgettable scene. The beach is wide, open, and peaceful, perfect for swimming, relaxing, and watching the sun sink into the horizon. Nearby, hidden caves and Roman ruins add a layer of mystery to the landscape. At the heart of Gozo stands the citadel in Victoria, also known as Rabat. Rising high above the island, this ancient fortress has protected the people of Gozo for centuries. As you climb its steep streets and enter through its gates, you are surrounded by stone walls, old houses, and quiet squares. From the top, the view is incredible. You can see the entire island stretching out in every direction, with villages, fields, and the sea blending into a stunning panorama. Inside the citadel, museums and historic buildings tell the story of Gozo's past, from prehistoric times to the Knights of St. John. The cathedral, with its impressive dome, stands proudly at the center, adding to the timeless beauty of the fortress. Walking through the citadel feels like stepping back into a medieval world where every corner holds a story. Gozo is also famous for its ancient temples, especially the Gantija temples. These prehistoric structures are older than the pyramids of Egypt and Stonehenge, making them some of the oldest freestanding monuments in the world. Built by a mysterious civilization thousands of years ago, the temples are massive and awe-inspiring. Standing among these stones, you can't help but wonder how ancient people managed to move and shape such enormous blocks without modern technology. The name Gantija means belonging to giants, reflecting local legends that giants built the temples. Beyond history and nature, Gozo is a place of simple beauty and tradition. Small villages are filled with churches, local shops, and friendly residents who greet visitors with warmth. Farmers work the fields, fishermen bring in their daily catch, and life moves at a gentle pace. Traditional festivals, known as festas, light up the villages with fireworks, music, and decorations, offering a glimpse into authentic Maltese culture. Before you think you've seen all that Malta has to offer, imagine a smaller island where nature feels untouched, where cliffs rise straight from the sea, and where villages move at a slower, more peaceful rhythm. This is Gozo, Malta's sister island, a place many travelers describe as the soul of the archipelago. It is quieter, greener, and filled with landscapes that feel like a dream brought to life. A short ferry ride from the main island takes you across the sparkling Mediterranean, and as Gozo comes into view, you'll notice how different it feels. Rolling hills replace busy streets, stone farmhouses dot the countryside, and the air feels fresher and calmer. Gozo is where Malta slows down, where traditions remain strong, and where nature takes center stage. One of the first sights that captures your attention is the dramatic coastline. Towering limestone cliffs plunge into deep blue water, forming hidden coves and secret beaches. The sound of waves crashing against the rocks creates a powerful, cinematic atmosphere. Places like Mnajdra Bay and Wiedelmjellavaden are famous for their natural rock formations and arches, shaped by thousands of years of wind and sea. Even though the famous Azure window collapsed in 2017, the area remains one of the most breathtaking coastal landscapes in Europe. Gozo is also home to Ramla Bay, one of the most beautiful beaches in Malta. Its unique reddish-golden sand contrasts with the turquoise water, creating a striking and unforgettable scene. The beach is wide, open, and peaceful, perfect for swimming, relaxing, and watching the sun sink into the horizon. Nearby, hidden caves and Roman ruins add a layer of mystery to the landscape. At the heart of Gozo stands the citadel in Victoria, also known as Rabat. Rising high above the island, this ancient fortress has protected the people of Gozo for centuries. As you climb its steep streets and enter through its gates, you are surrounded by stone walls, old houses, and quiet squares. From the top, the view is incredible. You can see the entire island stretching out in every direction, with villages, fields, and the sea blending into a stunning panorama. Inside the citadel, museums and historic buildings tell the story of Gozo's past, from prehistoric times to the Knights of St. John. The cathedral, with its impressive dome, stands proudly at the center, adding to the timeless beauty of the fortress. Walking through the citadel feels like stepping back into a medieval world where every corner holds a story. Gozo is also famous for its ancient temples, especially the Gantija temples. These prehistoric structures are older than the pyramids of Egypt and Stonehenge, making them some of the oldest freestanding monuments in the world. Built by a mysterious civilization thousands of years ago, the temples are massive and awe-inspiring. Standing among these stones, you can't help but wonder how ancient people managed to move and shape such enormous blocks without modern technology. The name Gantija means belonging to giants, reflecting local legends that giants built the temples. Beyond history and nature, Gozo is a place of simple beauty and tradition. Small villages are filled with churches, local shops, and friendly residents who greet visitors with warmth. Farmers work the fields, fishermen bring in their daily catch, and life moves at a gentle pace. Traditional festivals, known as festas, light up the villages with fireworks, music, and decorations, offering a glimpse into authentic Maltese culture. The island is also a paradise for outdoor lovers. Hiking trails lead through quiet valleys, past ancient farmhouses, and along dramatic coastal paths. Divers come from around the world to explore Gozo's underwater caves, shipwrecks, and crystal clear waters. The sea here is calm, blue, and incredibly inviting, making it perfect for snorkeling, kayaking, and boat trips. As evening falls, Gozo becomes even more magical. The sky turns shades of orange and purple, the villages glow under soft lights, and the sea reflects the fading sun. Restaurants serve fresh seafood and local dishes, while the sound of waves and distant church bells creates a peaceful soundtrack to the night. Gozo is not just a destination, it is a feeling. A place where time slows down, where nature and history blend perfectly, and where every view feels cinematic. As you leave this island and head back toward Malta, you realize that Gozo leaves a lasting impression, a quiet beauty that stays with you long after the journey ends. And in the next chapter, we will dive into Malta's hidden coastal treasures, where turquoise lagoons, caves, and crystal waters create some of the most stunning scenes in the Mediterranean. Picture a place where the water is so clear, it looks unreal, where sunlight turns the sea into shades of turquoise and sapphire, and where the horizon feels endless. This is Comino, a tiny island between Malta and Gozo that holds one of the most famous natural wonders in the Mediterranean, the Blue Lagoon. From the moment you see it, you understand why travelers from all over the world call it paradise. As your boat approaches Comino, the island looks wild and untouched. There are no busy cities here, no traffic, no crowds of buildings, just rocky cliffs, low shrubs, and open sky. The sea surrounding the island is calm and shallow, creating a natural pool that glows with vibrant blue colors. The contrast between the pale limestone rocks and the crystal clear water is breathtaking, almost like a scene from a fantasy movie. The Blue Lagoon is the star of Comino. When sunlight hits the sandy bottom, the water lights up in bright turquoise, shifting to deeper blues as it gets deeper. You can see fish swimming below the surface, boats floating gently, and swimmers gliding through the water like they are flying. It is one of the most photographed places in Europe, and yet, seeing it in person feels even more magical. Swimming in the Blue Lagoon feels like stepping into a natural infinity pool. The water is warm, clean, and calm, perfect for floating, snorkeling, and relaxing. Small boats and kayaks move slowly across the lagoon, and the sound of laughter and splashing water mixes with the gentle waves. It is a place where time seems to slow down, where worries fade, and where every moment feels like a vacation dream. But Comino is more than just the Blue Lagoon. The island is full of hidden caves, arches, and secluded spots that can only be reached by boat or on foot. The Crystal Lagoon, on the other side of the island, is another stunning spot, less crowded and just as beautiful. Here, the water is deeper and perfect for diving and snorkeling. Underwater caves and rock formations create an exciting world beneath the surface, attracting divers from around the globe. Comino also has a quiet, mysterious side. In the past, the island was used by pirates, smugglers, and even as a filming location for movies and TV shows. Its isolated nature made it perfect for hiding and adventure. Today, you can explore old watchtowers, walking trails, and abandoned structures that add a sense of history and intrigue to the landscape. Walking across Comino feels like stepping into a natural sanctuary. The island is part of a protected nature reserve, home to rare plants and bird species. Seagulls circle above, wildflowers bloom in spring, and the air feels fresh and pure. With very few permanent residents, Comino offers a rare sense of solitude and connection with nature. As the day progresses, the light changes and the Blue Lagoon transforms. In the afternoon, the sun creates sparkling reflections on the water, and in the evening, The colors soften into pastel blues and golds. Watching the sunset here is unforgettable. The sky turns orange, pink, and purple, and the sea mirrors the sky like glass. Boats slowly leave, the crowds fade, and Comino becomes quiet again, almost magical. At night, the island feels completely different. With minimal light pollution, the stars shine brightly, and the silence is deep and peaceful. It is the kind of place where you can lie back, listen to the gentle waves, and feel completely disconnected from the modern world. Comino is proof that sometimes the smallest places hold the greatest beauty. It is not about cities, monuments, or crowds. It is about pure nature, clear water, and a sense of wonder that stays with you forever. As you leave the island and look back at the glowing lagoon, you realize why Comino is one of Malta's most iconic destinations. And the journey continues. In the next chapter, we will explore Malta's dramatic coastal caves, hidden bays, and rugged shorelines, where nature has sculpted the land into some of the most spectacular landscapes in the Mediterranean. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, the wind brushing your face, while the Mediterranean stretches endlessly below. The coastline of Malta is not just beautiful, it is dramatic, powerful, and sculpted by nature over millions of years. This chapter takes you along Malta's most breathtaking coastal landscapes, where caves, cliffs, and hidden bays create scenes that feel straight out of a cinematic masterpiece. Malta's shoreline is a work of art carved by waves, wind, and time. Limestone cliffs rise high above the sea, creating natural fortresses that glow golden under the sun. In some places, the cliffs drop straight into deep blue water, while in others, they hide secret beaches and coves that feel untouched and private. Every turn of the coast reveals a new view, a new surprise, and a new reason to fall in love with the island. One of the most famous coastal wonders is the Blue Grotto, a series of sea caves on the southern coast of Malta. From above, the area looks rugged and wild, but as you descend toward the water, the colors become unreal. Sunlight enters the caves and reflects off the water, creating glowing shades of electric blue and emerald green. Boat tours take you inside the caves, where the walls shimmer and the water looks like liquid light. It feels like entering another world, silent, mysterious, and beautiful. Nearby, the coastline around Marsaxlokk and Marsaxlokk offers a different kind of beauty. Traditional fishing villages sit beside the sea, with colorful boats floating in the harbor. The contrast between calm village life and the wild open sea creates a unique atmosphere. Here, you can watch fishermen at work, taste fresh seafood, and feel the authentic rhythm of Maltese coastal culture. On the western side of the island, the cliffs become even more dramatic. Places like Dingley Cliffs are among the highest points in Malta, offering sweeping views of the sea and countryside. Standing at the edge, you feel the power of nature beneath your feet. Waves crash against the rocks far below, and the horizon seems to stretch forever. At sunset, the sky turns golden and red, and the cliffs glow with warm light, creating one of the most breathtaking scenes on the island. Hidden along the coast are small bays and beaches that feel like secret escapes. Some can only be reached by hiking trails or by boat, making them quiet and peaceful. Crystal clear water, smooth pebbles, and rugged rock formations create perfect spots for swimming, snorkeling, and relaxing away from the crowds. These hidden gems are where Malta feels most untouched, where nature takes the lead and silence becomes part of the experience. Malta's caves are not only beautiful, but also filled with history and mystery. Some caves were used by ancient people for shelter, rituals, and burials. Others served as hiding places during wars and pirate times. Exploring these caves is like stepping into a natural archive, where every rock tells a story of survival, discovery, and human presence. Underwater, Malta's coastline continues to amaze. The island is one of the top diving destinations in the world, thanks to its clear waters, underwater caves, reefs, and shipwrecks. Divers explore sunken ships, tunnels, and marine life in water so clear it feels like flying through air. Even if you stay on the surface, snorkeling reveals colorful fish, rock formations, and underwater landscapes that are just as impressive. As the day fades, the coast transforms again. The sun dips into the sea, painting the sky with shades of orange, pink, and purple. The cliffs turn dark and dramatic, and the water reflects the changing colors like a mirror. It is a moment of calm, where the noise of the world fades and nature takes center stage. Malta's coastline is not just a border between land and sea. It is a living gallery of natural art, shaped by time and motion. Every cave, every cliff, and every bay adds another chapter to the island's story. And as you move along this rugged shore, you realize that Malta is not just an island, but a masterpiece carved by the Mediterranean itself. In the next chapter, we will step away from the coast and dive into Malta's vibrant cities and towns, where culture, festivals, and daily life reveal the heart and soul of this incredible island. Now shift from the wild beauty of Malta's coastline to the heartbeat of its people. Beyond cliffs and lagoons, Malta's towns and cities are full of color, tradition, and energy. This is where history meets modern life, where ancient streets echo with laughter, music, and the rhythms of daily life. Welcome to the vibrant soul of Malta. Start in Slima and Street Julian's, two of Malta's most modern and lively areas. Here, the waterfront is lined with cafes, restaurants, and promenades, where locals and travelers walk beside the sea. Skyscrapers rise above historic buildings, creating a unique blend of old and new. At night, the lights reflect on the water, and the atmosphere becomes electric. Bars, clubs, and rooftop lounges come alive, making this part of Malta a hub for nightlife and social life. Yet just a short distance away, you'll find towns that feel deeply traditional. Take Mosta, for example, home to the famous Mosta Dome, one of the largest unsupported domes in the world. From the outside, the church looks grand and elegant, but inside, it feels even more impressive. Sunlight pours through the dome, illuminating intricate decorations and creating a peaceful, spiritual atmosphere. Mosta is also known for its markets, local bakeries, and friendly community, where everyday life moves at a comfortable pace. Then there is Marsaxlokk, a picturesque fishing village that looks like a postcard come to life. Colorful wooden boats, known as luzu, float gently in the harbor, their painted eyes watching over the sea. According to ancient tradition, the village is famous for its Sunday fish market, where stalls overflow with fresh seafood, local produce, and handmade goods. Restaurants line the waterfront, serving dishes caught just hours before, while the sea breeze carries the scent of salt and grilled fish through the air. In the south, the town of Birgu, also known as Vittoriosa, offers a deep dive into Malta's maritime history. Narrow streets wind through old stone buildings, leading to quiet squares and hidden courtyards. The waterfront is lined with yachts and traditional boats, and the ancient fortifications rise above the harbor. Birgu feels authentic and lived in, a place where history is not displayed in museums but experienced in everyday life. Malta's towns are also famous for their festas, colorful religious festivals that take place throughout the year. During these celebrations, streets are decorated with lights, banners, and statues. Fireworks light up the sky, bands play music, and locals gather to celebrate with food, drinks, and joy. The atmosphere is vibrant, emotional, and deeply rooted in tradition. For visitors, a festa is one of the best ways to experience the true spirit of Malta. Markets and small shops add another layer to Maltese life. In village squares, elderly residents chat on benches, children play near fountains, and shopkeepers greet customers by name. Traditional bakeries sell pastisi, soft pastries filled with ricotta or peas, while cafes serve strong coffee and sweet treats. These simple moments reveal the warmth and closeness of Maltese communities. Modern Malta also has a creative and artistic side. Galleries, theaters, and cultural centers showcase local and international art. Street art brightens walls in urban areas, and musicians perform in squares and bars. The island may be small, but its cultural life is rich and diverse. As evening falls, Malta's cities transform. Waterfronts glow under soft lights. Churches stand illuminated against the night sky, and people gather to enjoy dinners by the sea. The sound of conversation, clinking glasses, and distant music creates a comforting background to the night. Whether you prefer a quiet walk along the promenade or a lively night out, Malta offers something for everyone. These towns and cities are more than destinations. They are living communities where history, tradition, and modern life exist side by side. They show that Malta is not just a place to visit, but a place to experience, to feel, and to connect with. And as the journey continues, the next chapter will take you deep into Malta's ancient past, where mysterious temples and prehistoric sites reveal stories older than many civilizations in the world. Long before Malta became a crossroads of empires, long before knights, churches, and fortified cities, a mysterious civilization built monuments that still challenge modern understanding. This chapter takes you back thousands of years into Malta's prehistoric past, where ancient temples stand as silent witnesses to one of the oldest cultures in the world. Malta is home to some of the oldest freestanding structures on Earth, older than the pyramids of Egypt, older than Stonehenge. These temples were built more than 5,000 years ago by people whose names and stories are mostly lost to time. Yet, their legacy remains carved into massive stones that have survived millennia of wind, sea, and human history. One of the most remarkable sites is Ħaġar, located on a hill overlooking the sea. As you approach, the temple complex rises from the landscape like a prehistoric sanctuary. Massive limestone blocks form curved walls, doorways, and chambers that feel both ancient and advanced. The location is breathtaking. From the temple grounds, you can see the Mediterranean stretching endlessly, making it easy to imagine why this place was chosen for rituals, astronomy, and spiritual gatherings. Nearby stands Mnajdra, another temple complex aligned with the sun. During equinoxes and solstices, sunlight passes through specific openings, illuminating the interior in precise patterns. This suggests that the ancient builders had a deep understanding of astronomy and time. Standing inside Mnajdra as light slowly moves across the stone feels mystical, as if you are witnessing a message sent across thousands of years. Then there is the Hypogeum of Ħal-Saflieni, one of the most extraordinary underground structures in the world. Carved entirely out of rock, this subterranean complex served as a temple and burial site. Descending into the Hypogeum is like entering another dimension. Narrow passages lead to chambers with smooth walls, curved ceilings, and acoustic properties that amplify sound in an eerie, almost spiritual way. Archaeologists discovered thousands of human remains here, along with artifacts, statues, and tools, revealing a complex society with advanced beliefs and rituals. The Hypogeum is not just a historical site, it is an experience that feels deeply emotional and mysterious. The silence, the darkness, and the ancient architecture create a powerful connection to the people who lived here thousands of years ago. It raises questions that still have no clear answers. Who were these people? How did they move such massive stones? What beliefs guided their lives? Scattered across the islands are more prehistoric sites, including the Tarxian temples, where intricate carvings of animals, spirals, and figures decorate the stones. These carvings show that the ancient Maltese had artistic skills and symbolic systems that were far ahead of their time. Some statues suggest the worship of a mother goddess, pointing to a society deeply connected to nature, fertility, and spirituality. Walking through these temples, you can feel the weight of history beneath your feet. The stones are worn smooth by centuries of wind and touch, yet they still stand strong. The landscape around them is quiet, open, and timeless, making it easy to imagine ancient ceremonies, processions, and gatherings under the same sky. Malta's prehistoric heritage is not just about ruins, it is about mystery. Unlike many ancient civilizations, this one left no written record. Their language, names, and stories are unknown. All we have are the stones, the tools, and the art they left behind. This makes Malta one of the most intriguing archaeological destinations in the world, a place where every discovery raises new questions. As the sun sets over these ancient sites, the temples glow in soft golden light, blending into the landscape as if they were born from the earth itself. The sea in the distance reflects the sky, and the air feels still and sacred. It is a moment that connects the present with a distant past, reminding us how small we are in the timeline of human history. These prehistoric wonders add another layer to Malta's identity. They show that this small island was once a center of innovation, spirituality, and human creativity. They remind us that Malta is not just a beautiful Mediterranean destination, but a cradle of ancient civilization. Every island has a story, but Malta's story is not only written in stone and sea. It lives in its people, its traditions, its flavors, and its everyday rituals. This chapter takes you into the heart of Maltese culture, where centuries of history blend with Mediterranean warmth to create a unique and unforgettable way of life. Malta's culture is a mix of many civilizations that passed through these islands. Phoenicians, Romans, Arabs, Normans, Spanish, French, and British all left their mark. You can hear it in the language, see it in the architecture, and taste it in the food. Maltese is a Semitic language with Italian and English influences, and you'll often hear locals switching effortlessly between languages, reflecting the island's rich and layered identity. Food is at the center of Maltese life. Traditional dishes are simple, hearty, and full of flavor. Rabbit stew, known as fenkata, is considered the national dish, slow-cooked with garlic, wine, and herbs. Fresh seafood is everywhere, from grilled fish to octopus stew, served in seaside villages and city restaurants alike. Pastizzi, flaky pastries filled with ricotta or peas, are a beloved snack found in small bakeries across the island. And of course, there is the traditional Maltese bread, baked in stone ovens and often enjoyed with olive oil, tomatoes, and local cheese. Markets are a vibrant part of Maltese culture. In towns and villages, weekly markets fill squares with stalls selling fresh fruits, vegetables, spices, honey, crafts, and souvenirs. Locals greet each other, share stories, and bargain with vendors, creating a lively and social atmosphere. These markets are not just places to shop, but places to connect, to laugh, and to keep traditions alive. Crafts and art have a long history in Malta. Filigree jewelry, delicate lacework, glass blowing, and pottery are all traditional crafts passed down through generations. In small workshops, artisans continue to create handmade pieces using techniques that have existed for centuries. Watching these craftsmen at work is like witnessing history in motion, where skill, patience, and creativity come together. Music and celebrations are deeply woven into Maltese life. From village band clubs to religious processions, music fills the streets during festas and special occasions. Brass bands march through decorated streets, fireworks explode in the sky, and people gather to celebrate their patron saints with passion and pride. These festas are emotional events where faith, tradition, and community come together in a powerful display of identity. Religion plays a strong role in Malta, with churches dominating town skylines and daily life influenced by centuries of Catholic tradition. Yet Malta is also modern and open, balancing tradition with progress. You'll find modern art galleries, contemporary music, and international festivals alongside ancient rituals and historic celebrations. Family and community are at the heart of Maltese society. Sundays are often spent with extended family, sharing long meals and stories. Neighbors greet each other in the streets, and small towns feel like close-knit communities where everyone knows everyone. This sense of belonging and warmth is one of the most beautiful aspects of Malta. Malta's culture is also shaped by the sea. Fishing villages, boat traditions, and maritime festivals remind everyone that the Mediterranean has always been a lifeline. The sea provides food, trade routes, and inspiration, and it remains a central part of Maltese identity. As evening approaches, Maltese life slows down. Families gather for dinner, cafes fill with conversation, and promenades become social meeting points. The sound of waves, distant church bells, and laughter creates a comforting rhythm that feels timeless. Malta's culture is not something you simply observe, it is something you feel. In the warmth of its people, the taste of its food, the rhythm of its music, and the pride in its traditions. It is the invisible thread that connects ancient temples, medieval cities, and modern life into one continuous story. Imagine standing on a sun-drenched terrace, looking out over an island that feels both timeless and alive. Malta is small in size, but immense in character, a place where every street, every cliff, every wave carries a story. From its ancient temples to its bustling cities, from hidden coves to golden sunsets, Malta is a living tapestry of history, nature, and human spirit. Modern Malta may surprise you. Beyond the fortresses, cliffs, and ancient stones lies an island that embraces contemporary life without losing its soul. Street Julians in Slima are perfect examples. These vibrant hubs pulse with energy, from lively restaurants and bars to luxury hotels and waterfront promenades. The lights of the night reflect on the calm Mediterranean, creating a shimmering spectacle that feels almost magical. Walk along the promenade, and you'll hear the laughter of friends, the clink of glasses, and the soft music drifting from cafes, a soundtrack that contrasts beautifully with Malta's quiet historical corners. Yet, even in its modernity, Malta maintains a deep respect for its past. Historical sites stand proudly beside contemporary architecture. Fortifications built by the Knights of Street, John gaze over luxury marinas, and ancient churches rise amidst bustling streets. The island's ability to balance history and modernity is part of what makes it so extraordinary. You feel that every moment Whether exploring a centuries-old city gate or sipping coffee in a sunlit cafe is connected to centuries of tradition and culture. One of the most cinematic experiences in Malta is the night sky. With minimal light pollution in many areas, stars blanket the heavens in an endless display of brilliance. Look up from the cliffs at Dingley or from the shores of Gozo, and the Milky Way stretches across the sky, mirrored faintly by the glittering sea below. It is a reminder of Malta's place in the world, not just a land of history, but a land in harmony with nature, the sea, and the universe. Malta is also a hub for creativity and storytelling. Its striking landscapes, dramatic architecture, and picturesque towns have made it a favorite location for filmmakers from around the world. From historical dramas to epic fantasy series, Malta transforms on screen, becoming cities of the past, kingdoms of legend, or even futuristic realms. Walking through Valletta, Mdina, or the coastal cliffs, it's easy to imagine scenes unfolding, each step feeling cinematic and alive. The island's people are central to the story, warm, welcoming, and proud of their heritage. The Maltese embody the island's spirit. Whether it's a fisherman casting nets in Marsaxlokk, artisans crafting filigree jewelry, or families gathering for Sunday lunch, you feel the heartbeat of Malta in every interaction. Their traditions, festivals, and daily lives add color and life to a landscape that might otherwise feel frozen in time. Nature on Malta continues to amaze. From the turquoise waters of the Blue Lagoon to the rugged cliffs of Gozo and the quiet beaches hidden along the coast, the island offers a variety of experiences for those who seek adventure or tranquility. Hike through valleys, kayak along cliffs, or dive into clear seas filled with vibrant marine life. Every view is cinematic, every moment photogenic, yet there is a sense of authenticity that makes Malta feel more real than any picture could capture. As the day fades, Malta offers unforgettable sunsets. The sun dips into the Mediterranean, painting the sky with fiery oranges, pinks, and purples. The sea mirrors the colors, while the limestone cliffs and city walls glow softly. It is a moment of calm and reflection, where you understand why Malta has inspired so many generations, from ancient builders to modern travelers. And then there are the quiet moments, sitting on a stone bench overlooking the harbor, listening to distant church bells, or strolling along a deserted alley in Mdina. You feel a deep connection to the island's history, culture, and natural beauty. Malta is small, but it leaves a vast impression, a place where every sight, sound, and story lingers in memory. As our journey comes to a close, Malta reveals its ultimate secret. It is not just an island of sights, but an island of experiences. Every corner, from prehistoric temples to bustling marketplaces, from serene beaches to lively festivals, offers a new perspective, a new story, and a new wonder. It is a destination that demands attention, invites exploration, and rewards curiosity. Malta is timeless, cinematic, and alive. It is an island where the past and present coexist in perfect harmony, where nature and human spirit intertwine, and where every traveler can discover their own moment of wonder. As you leave these shores, the images, sounds, and feelings of Malta stay with you, a memory that lingers, a story that continues, and a promise that one day you will return to explore it all over again. As the sun rises over Malta, the islands reveal a side of themselves that only early risers ever truly see. The streets of Valletta and Mdina are quiet, yet alive, with whispers of history. Light spills over golden limestone buildings, casting long shadows across narrow streets, and the sea shimmers in soft hues of blue and silver. In these moments, Malta feels like a secret being revealed, a treasure preserved for those willing to experience it slowly, intentionally, and deeply. Valletta, the fortified capital, is particularly magical in the early hours. Walking through its main thoroughfares, you notice the intricate balconies, ornate doorways, and the meticulous grid layout, a rare feature for a city designed in the 16th century. The streets are silent, but the architecture speaks volumes. Palaces, churches, and museums tell stories of a past dominated by the Knights of Street, John, whose influence still shapes the rhythm of life today. Street, John's co-cathedral, stands as a crown jewel, its Baroque interior glowing softly in the morning light, revealing Caravaggio's masterpieces in a setting that feels both sacred and cinematic. Leaving Valletta, The journey takes you to the quiet elegance of Mdina, the silent city. Here, centuries seem to converge in narrow alleys and hidden courtyards. As morning light touches the stone walls, the city awakens in a slow, deliberate rhythm. Church bells echo in the distance, and birds flit between rooftops. Walking through Mdina is like moving through a living painting. Every corner, every arch, every shadow seems meticulously composed. Visitors find themselves enveloped in history, yet also in a profound sense of peace, a pause from the modern world. Beyond the capitals, Malta's countryside offers its own cinematic beauty. Olive groves, terrace fields, and rolling hills stretch as far as the eye can see. Stone walls zigzag across the landscape, leading to hidden chapels and traditional farmhouses. In villages like Ħaġar and Zebug, life moves at a slower pace, and every meal, every conversation, feels infused with tradition. Local markets overflow with fresh produce, herbs, and spices, offering a glimpse into the rhythms of daily life that have endured for generations. There is an authenticity here that is rare in today's fast-paced world, a sense of continuity that connects the past to the present. Malta's coastline continues to be a source of awe. From the cliffs of Dingley to the hidden coves of Gozo, the island's waters tell a story of constant motion, shaping rock and sand over millennia. Comino's Blue Lagoon remains a jewel in this coastal crown, its turquoise waters glowing in the sun. But beyond the famous spots, there are secluded beaches and rocky inlets where the only sounds are the lapping waves and the occasional call of a seabird. These hidden corners reward those who seek solitude, offering moments of reflection and wonder. History is everywhere in Malta, not just in monuments, but in the layers of human endeavor that have shaped the islands. Ancient temples like Hypogeum and Mnajdra demonstrate the ingenuity of prehistoric civilizations, while medieval fortifications reflect the strategic importance of Malta through the ages. The Hypogeum of Ħal-Saflieni, an underground temple complex, offers a glimpse into the spiritual life of people who lived thousands of years ago. Every site, every stone, feels imbued with meaning, connecting visitors to a timeline far beyond their own experience. Cultural life in Malta is equally vibrant. Music, art, and festivals animate the islands throughout the year. During festas, streets are transformed with colorful lights, fireworks, and marching bands. The sound of brass instruments, the cheers of the crowd, and the scent of local foods fill the air, creating an atmosphere of joy and communal celebration. Traditional crafts such as filigree, jewelry, lacework, and pottery are still practiced, preserving techniques that span centuries. Observing these traditions, it becomes clear that Malta is a living archive, where history is not merely preserved, but lived every day. The Maltese people themselves are the heartbeat of this story. Warm, proud, and resilient, they embody the spirit of an island that has survived invasions, plagues, and centuries of change. Their hospitality, sense of humor, and deep connection to community make every interaction memorable. Whether sharing a local pastry, guiding visitors through historic streets, or performing in a festival, they bring Malta to life in a way that no scenery alone ever could. As the day progresses, the islands shift again. The morning glow gives way to the bright Mediterranean sun, illuminating cliffs, fields, and villages in sharp, dazzling light. Waves sparkle like liquid crystal, streets bustle with life, and the scent of salt and herbs fills the air. Yet even in its liveliest moments, Malta maintains a sense of intimacy, as if every visitor is being invited to become part of its story. Begin in the early morning light along the coast of Gozo, where cliffs rise sharply from the sea, and waves crash rhythmically against limestone walls. The soft golden sun highlights every crevice, turning rugged rock formations into natural sculptures. From here, you can see the horizon melt into a haze of blues and silvers, the sea stretching endlessly, as if the Mediterranean itself is inviting you to pause and reflect. Small coves hide quiet beaches, some only accessible by hiking trails or small boats, making each discovery feel personal, almost secret. Among these cliffs, history and legend converge. Look at Mnajdra Bay, home to rock formations that have inspired stories for centuries. Though the azure window no longer stands, its legacy is visible in the surrounding cliffs and the natural arches that remain. Photographers and filmmakers alike have been drawn to this dramatic coastline, yet even without a lens, the scene feels cinematic. Light glimmers off the water, shadows play across jagged rock, and the wind whispers through the sparse vegetation, carrying the salt of the sea and the weight of time. Inland, Gozo's countryside unfolds like a textured canvas. Terraced fields slope gently across rolling hills, lined by dry stone walls that seem to appear naturally from the landscape. Traditional farmhouses, some centuries old, punctuate the scenery with warm, honey-colored limestone. Here, life moves slowly, in rhythm with the seasons and the land. Farmers tend to their crops, children run through fields, and the scent of herbs, wildflowers, and sun-baked earth fills the air. Walking through these valleys, you feel connected to a continuity that stretches across generations. The cultural heartbeat of Malta is also present in the smallest details. Festivals and festas enliven even the tiniest villages, where streets are lined with lights, banners, and statues. Fireworks paint the sky in bursts of color, and the sound of brass bands carries across the town. The joy of community is palpable, whether you are in a crowded square or observing from a quiet lane. These events are more than celebrations. They are living expressions of Malta's identity, merging faith, history, and art in a single shared experience. Even the island's small villages hold cinematic charm. In Marsaxlokk, the traditional fishing harbor glows with the morning sun, highlighting the brightly painted lazu boats bobbing gently in the water. Fishermen unload their catch, their hands moving with practiced precision, while locals and visitors stroll along the quay, absorbing the sights, sounds, and scents of the harbor. Cafes nearby offer freshly caught seafood, warm bread, and olive oil, turning a simple meal into a sensory journey. It is in these ordinary moments that Malta's extraordinary character is most visible. Life here is lived with a rhythm and presence that feels rare in the modern world. Malta's historical layers also create a cinematic depth unlike anywhere else. Street jaunts. Cathedral in Valletta, with its Baroque splendor, continues to awe visitors with Caravaggio's masterpieces and the intricate gilding that covers its interior. In Mdina, the silent city, narrow streets wind past stone palaces and courtyards, each corner telling a story of centuries gone by. Churches, fortresses, and remnants of medieval life are never isolated. They are part of a larger tapestry where past and present coexist seamlessly. Nature remains an integral part of Malta's narrative. From the crystal-clear waters of the Blue Lagoon to the rugged cliffs of Dingley, the islands offer endless opportunities to witness the dramatic interplay of land and sea. Snorkeling along hidden coves reveals an underwater world of vibrant coral and fish, while hiking trails provide panoramic views that stretch across both islands and the distant horizon. Even the smallest details, a flower blooming along a cliff edge, the call of a seabird, or the reflection of clouds on calm water contribute to a sense of wonder that is cinematic in its subtlety. As afternoon transitions into evening, Malta takes on yet another layer of beauty. The warm light softens, shadows lengthen, and the limestone walls of towns and fortresses glow with amber hues. Streets hum gently with life. Cafes and restaurants are filled with conversation. Music drifts from local venues, and the scent of traditional dishes fills the air. On the coast, waves shimmer in the fading light, reflecting the sky in a blend of pink, oranges, and purples that feel almost unreal. Malta is cinematic, not just because of its landscapes or architecture, but because of the way every element, history, culture, nature, and human life comes together in perfect harmony. Each moment, whether in a bustling square or a quiet cove, feels designed to evoke awe, reflection, and connection. The islands are small, yet they contain an astonishing depth of experience. Begin in the early hours, when the streets of Valletta are bathed in soft golden light. The city, designed by the Knights of Street, John in the 16th century, is a masterpiece of fortifications, narrow streets, and grand architecture. Street John's Cathedral glows in the morning sun, its Baroque interiors revealing centuries of artistry. Light dances on the intricate marble floors, illuminating Caravaggio's masterpieces and creating an atmosphere of quiet reverence. Here, every detail feels intentional, every corner a scene ready for the camera, yet untouched by artifice, leaving you in awe of human creativity and devotion. From Valletta, the journey leads to Mdina, the silent city, where time itself seems to slow. Walking through its stone alleys, you hear only your footsteps and the occasional bell toll. Palaces and courtyards tell stories of noble families, battles, and the island's layered history. The silence enhances the cinematic quality of the city. Every doorway, arch, and narrow street looks like it belongs in a film, yet it is real, tangible, and alive. From the city walls, the view of the countryside and distant sea stretches to the horizon, reminding you of Malta's connection to both history and nature. Malta's villages offer a contrasting rhythm, slower but equally mesmerizing. In Marsaxlokk, fishermen's boats bob gently in the harbor, painted in vibrant colors and adorned with traditional eyes meant to ward off evil. Markets bustle with locals and visitors, the smell of fresh fish and warm bread filling the air. Cafes spill onto the streets, laughter and conversation mixing with the gentle lapping of the harbor waters. It is in these intimate, everyday moments that Malta's essence is most palpable. A blend of tradition, community, and natural beauty that feels effortless, yet profound. The island's natural wonders continue to astound. Gozo's cliffs rise dramatically from the Mediterranean, overlooking hidden coves and azure waters. Comino's Blue Lagoon remains a jewel of impossible blues, inviting visitors to swim, snorkel, or simply float in awe of its clarity and warmth. Beneath the water, coral and fish create a vibrant underwater world, while above, the sun glints off limestone cliffs and rolling fields. Hiking trails and quiet valleys reveal hidden chapels, olive groves, and terraced fields, connecting travelers to a landscape that has remained largely unchanged for centuries. History permeates every stone and structure on the islands. Prehistoric temples like Hypogeum and Mnajdra, older than the pyramids of Egypt, rise from the earth as testaments to human ingenuity. The Hypogeum of Ħal-Saflieni offers a haunting glimpse into subterranean rituals and burial practices, its chambers designed with acoustics and alignment that astonish even modern engineers. Medieval fortresses, Baroque churches, and traditional farmhouses form a continuous narrative, linking past and present in a way that is uniquely Maltese. Cultural life adds vibrancy to the island's cinematic landscapes. Festivals and festas transform towns and villages with color, music, and firework displays. Brass bands march through streets adorned with lights and banners, while locals and visitors alike celebrate with joy and pride. Traditional crafts, filigree jewelry, lacework, pottery continue to thrive, preserving the skills and artistry of generations. In every square, every market, and every festival, the Maltese people create living scenes that are both historic and immediate, bridging centuries with their actions, voices, and laughter. As the day moves toward evening, Malta becomes even more cinematic. Sunsets over the Mediterranean paint the sky in gradients of orange, pink, and purple, reflecting off the calm waters and limestone cliffs. Valletta's rooftops glow with soft amber light, and Gozo's valleys and fields take on a golden hue. The soundscape shifts as well. The gentle lap of waves, the distant calls of seabirds, and the faint echo of church bells create a soundtrack of peace and reflection. This is a moment to pause, to breathe, and to feel the full weight of the island's beauty. Even at night, Malta continues to enchant. Starry skies blanket areas with minimal light pollution, and the islands feel suspended between heaven and earth. Quiet promenades, historic city squares, and serene beaches provide spaces for reflection and solitude, while lively harbors and village streets maintain a pulse of life. The contrast between quiet and activity, history and modernity, nature and civilization is part of what makes Malta endlessly captivating. In the end, Malta's magic is in its balance. Its beauty is both grand and intimate, its history both monumental and personal. Every cliff, temple, street, and festival tells a story, yet together they create an experience that is cohesive, immersive, and unforgettable. Malta invites travelers not just to see, but to feel, to connect with its landscapes, its people, and its timeless spirit. This is why Malta remains one of the Mediterranean's most remarkable destinations. It is an island of layers, where every visit offers discovery, where every corner is cinematic, and where memories are etched as deeply as the limestone cliffs and ancient temples. As you leave, the images, sounds, and sensations stay with you, a living mosaic of history, culture, and nature. Malta is not simply a place to visit. It is a story to experience, a journey that continues long after you have departed, a wonder that lingers in the heart forever. Thank you for joining this journey through Malta, a land where history, culture, and nature collide in unforgettable ways. From ancient temples to sparkling lagoons, vibrant towns to hidden cliffs, Malta leaves a lasting impression on every traveler. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next cinematic adventure. And remember, every destination has a story waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.